Okay, hello all. Welcome to AMT 181, Communications and Navigations class. This is the course introduction video. I am going to go over the syllabus with you. And you, once watching this video and reading through the syllabus yourself, you will need to take the syllabus quiz to count for attendance for the first day of class, for the first day of lecture. Okay, so I'm just going to jump right in here. Here we are, once again, class 181, Communications and Navigation System. I am the instructor. My name is Samantha Theck. You can call me Miss Theck, Miss T. Either one of those is fine. You have my email here on the first page of the syllabus. You can email me here if you have questions or need to get a hold of me. You can also email me through Canvas. A lot of students use Canvas because that's where you access your course information as well. I've listed my office hours here. These are not in-person office hours. These are hours that I'm always on the computer, so you can expect to get any responses from me during these times. Other than that, I meet with you guys in lab on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5:30 to 7:30, so I will be seeing you face-to-face at that time. We have live online, oops, I have a typo there, but I don't think I can correct it right now. We have live online lecture. It is scheduled through Orange Coast College. It is scheduled from 9:05 p.m. to 10:35 p.m. That is not what we're going to do. We had to schedule it that way in order to allow for all of our classes to meet. But many of you are in my previous classes or in my electrical class right now, and we are going to be doing the lecture at a different time. In the instruments class, we did 4 to 5:30, so that's what we are going to do in this class as well. So 4 to 5:30, but I will always have announcements posted as to when those lectures are and the subject matter or whatever format it's going to be in. Sometimes you guys have video links to watch. Sometimes you guys have slides from me. So it varies. So just continue to check Canvas for announcements from me. Live lecture, when we do have live lecture, will be on YouTube, which is what this is on right now. So if you guys could click on this, you will have no trouble getting to the YouTube link for live lectures. So many of you, again, were in my previous class, so you kind of know how this is going. We have lab from 5:30 to 7:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the hangar in Skills Center 110. Here we have your required texts. The AC-43 will have information that we're using, Airframe Study Guide, ASA, and Jefferson. I'll use questions on your tests from both of those. And my lectures come from the AMT Handbook, Airframe Volume 2, Chapter 11, FAA 8083-31A. Recommended the Eisman, and I believe the Eisman's on the Dropbox, so that is a recommended text but not required. Required tools, we have a basic hand tools list, also a multimeter and a calculator is going to be required for this class. Okay, we have some information about email. Everyone should have a student email that they're accessing. Your student learning outcomes, you guys can read through those as it pertains to this class. I'm not going to read through every one of them, but these are the things that we will be covering during the term of this course, and that you should expect to be familiar with when you go to take the FAA test. So attendance at this program is under 14 CFR 147. This is an FAA approved program, and your attendance is mandatory. The FAA, not to say that they don't care if life events happen. I totally understand life events happen, but that time needs to be made up, okay? If you miss lab time, you must make up that time. If the time cannot be made up by the end of the semester, you may need to negotiate a later learning contract in future semesters. If you miss lecture hours or you are late to lecture, you must make up that time in lecture or do equivalent makeup work. Roll will be taken. So in this class, in this hybrid format, roll will be taken in the form of the quiz. We will have a lecture quiz the day of every single lecture. So twice a week you will have a lecture quiz, and that will serve as your attendance. If you miss that quiz, you will be considered absent from class, and if you miss enough of them, you will be dropped, and you may at some point be able to make up the quiz for partial credit, but that quiz counts as your attendance, and it needs to be complied with. Attendance is mandatory in this FAA approved program. So same goes for lab. In lab, you must sign in when going into laboratory. If you do not sign in or out, you may not get credit for those hours. We're all adults, and I'm not going to chase you guys around saying, hey, don't forget to sign out. Saying, hey, so-and-so didn't sign out. I get really sick of doing that. So if you guys sign in but forget to sign out, it's -1 hour, and you will need to make that time up. I'm not going to keep track of that. That's just going to go in your student records, and you guys will need to keep track of that on your own. I do have sign-in sheets for lab that are out. It will be out every Tuesday and Thursday. And it says here, if you are late for lab, you must complete a late sign-in and take to your laboratory instructor. I will verify your time and keep the sheet. Habitual unexcused absences will not be tolerated. Remember, the FAA requires that all time missed must be made up by the student. So even if you miss time, even if it's for a credible reason, which happens all the time, I know there's stuff that happens, but that time has to be made up. It's going to be accounted for. And this is important. If you accumulate 10 or more hours of absences, you are subject to being dropped from the class. And for me in my classes, you will be dropped, because especially in this 8-week class, if you miss 10 or more hours, there's no way that that's going to take up my time. I'm going to have to stay late. I'm going to have to come in on days to make up that time with you, and I'm not going to do that. So if you miss that much time, you're going to need to retake the class. And moving into grading procedures. So you guys can read through this. Tests will count for approximately 55% of your grade. That means midterm, final, quizzes, lecture quizzes, that all counts for 55% of your grade. We are not using Scantron, so you can disregard that. There is some wiggle room with tests. If you miss a test, if something happens on Canvas, you can take the test again, but any retake of a test, the maximum points you can score will be a 70. If you do not score 100% on your retake, every point miss is going to count against you, and you're going to get below a 70. So here's the grading scheme. You guys can read through that. Lab grades are based on participation, completion, legibility, and neatness of paperwork, having proper tools and using them properly. Shop maintenance, we do cleanup at the end of the night. With cleanup, I mean, it's basic. You guys are adults, put things back where they go, make sure all the aircraft are shut, doors are shut, windows are shut, stuff like that. We'll go over more of that the first day in lab as well. You can read through rules and regulations in a FAA approved shop. Again, it talks about attendance. And then the last part here is our tentative class schedule. So here we are in week 1. Here's your introduction to the course, your syllabus. We're reviewing tools and textbooks. Moving into Thursday, it's a little scattered in this view, but here's week 1 and 2. We'll go through ELT, we'll go through radio theory, all of this antennas and installations. This will all be weeks 1 and 2. So on Thursday, this is what we're going to start getting into. I think when you open up, you can see the view a little better. It's a little small here, which is why I have it in this other view. But so that is your tentative class schedule. Typical stuff, midterm, and this is, again, tentative. It's not going to be to the T. So you can take a look through that. It covers everything that we're going to go over in the course. So that's it for the syllabus. You do have a syllabus quiz that needs to be completed by 11:59 p.m. on Tuesday night, the 19th. If you do not complete that, then you were not accounted for in lecture. I will see you guys in lab at 5:30 on Tuesday the 19th. Okay, so that is going to be it for today's lecture. For today's introduction to the course.